But what can also happen with that, and now I'm coming back to you, Marcus, because doing things like movie soundtracks and stuff, I've already talked about the math badly. What happens? Like when you're working a soundtrack, you've got a scene that might be a minute and a half, so it's 90 seconds, that kind of stuff. And then you just do the math, you just make sure that the or the shark, like that sort of stuff, if that happens at a specific beat, it might be the second beat of the 25th bar and all that. Now, I get that in spades with cartoons, all this sort of stuff. And then, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to extrapolate on that a little bit, expand on it, in the sense that you need to know your quantizing of the layout, the rate of the beat for when that hits, And the master pre-anything digital was Carl Stalling, right? Carl Stalling is absolute genius because he was the guy who wrote all the music for the Bugs Bunny cartoons, that kind of thing. It's just amazing stuff. And what he did with time, it's a head spin. That whole, I won't need that, doesn't wash. Just doesn't wash anymore, that kind of thing. I can do that because I just love doing it. I mean, I'm not going to hit you over the head by saying, got to learn to read and all this sort of stuff. I mean, you get, that's what it is. But that's our trade. That's what it is. I am mesmerized by the little black dots and how they work inside of a beat. And I'm going to come back to that because it's the rate. So what happens is if you're dealing with a metronomic rate, so I've got 120 there. There it is, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you could sit there and just go. Can't have enough cowbell. But what happens though is that you want to be able to get in between the beat. Okay, so when we're actually dealing with, things like triplet rate, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go, you see. But what sometimes happens is that when you're dealing with, say, a swing kind of thing like I was just doing then, but it's a fairly slow tempo. Notice I'm clipping 1 yen, 2 yen, 3 yen, 4 yen, 1 yen, 2 yen, 3 yen, 4 yen, 1 yen, 2 yen, 3 yen, 4 yen, 1 yen, 2 yen, 3 yen, 4 yen. You've got to get inside the beat, see? Paradiddle. Cowbell. Get it? Dance to that. Anyway, there you go. So what happens is that one of the things you want to be able to do is, like when rhythm sections lock in, the old saying, he's either got it or he ain't got it and all that sort of stuff. No, I tend not to think like that. You can adapt, and it's good to know the sections and all that sort of stuff. One of the things is when I'm dealing with, let's see. see that sort of slipping? Well, I'm doing sort of a boogaloo. One and two and a three and four and a one and two and a three and four and a one and two and a three and four. So it's got that kind of lilt to it, but I'm putting fives over the top. Hippopotam, sippopotam, 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 sippopotam. And to a certain extent, when I'm trying to find the rate of some of the African groups, like the drummers of Burundi, they've got that lilt about it. It's like hypnotic, right? And it's got that kind of... But there's something about their lilt that gives it almost... Are they quantizing it in fives? I'm not even sure that they could talk about it. They're just brilliant at it, you know, and it's just overlaid rhythms. It's really quite amazing. So sometimes what happens is what you think is like, oh, that's triplets. No, not necessarily. You can swing in many different rates. And you could be playing very quickly, but the rate could still be just quavers,